talk about week. How's it going, Nathal?
Underdog week now as a Bronco fan. So overall, it's good.
Yeah, it was pretty solid. It's a little bit different, but I want to talk about Washington Redskins put a beat down on the Oakland Raiders. 27 to out physical by the Washington Redskins. The Washington Redskins D-line was killing the Oakland Raiders offensive line. And
Linebackers too.
the
Secondary.
linebackers. Brown was fast, super
Where,
fast.
where was Cooper at? Where was Cooper?
Cooper
was
dropped
Crabtree?
one pass. Crabtree drops two passes.
Well,
one
Carr
pa-
did throw that ball high, and that safety was over the top. So.
Yeah, but still, he usually catches those, which is
Right.
still weird that he dropped it. But you know it's a bad day when Crabtree drops two passes. And Marshawn Lynch, I don't think he probably had like 3 snaps in the second half. I don't know what he got in trouble for or what he did to not get in.
It wasn't worth it. Redskins defense just looked 5 times faster than the Raiders offense. Their offensive line that is supposed to be so good for the Raiders got destroyed up front by Carragher and company.
I'm not gonna say it was like a West Coast going to East Coast tiredness because Oakland's,
it was a night game. You can't even use that excuse.
I know, and plus Oakland's won. Since what are they? They were undefeated, I think, since last year on the East Coast. So you really can't use that excuse. They just got outplayed by Washington. Cousins had a good game. Good game for Cousins.
Chris Thompson's MVP for me in that game.
Chris Thompson for sure. He was excellent in that game. He was catching. He was a great receiving running back for them. And
yep, no doubt. And Cousins, as much as I think he's a tad overrated, he did have a good game. So,
did you see that catch from Josh Doxson?
Oh yeah, TCU.
Oh,
big weekend for TCU.
Oh man, that's 73 in playing, but it just was hard to watch Oakland that game. I mean, Derek Carr threw a pick right away, so that wasn't good. And then he threw another pick. It just didn't look like the Oakland that I've seen from last year to this year. They're definitely not my number 1 team anymore after that performance.
Yeah, no doubt. Power rankings are going to be changing for a lot of people coming out on Monday.
Well, the power rankings are just going to be changing in general, I think, because that number 5 spot is a very debatable spot now.
I'm pretty sure I was right on my number 1 spot, though. Kansas City did what they're supposed to do, made Philip Rivers look like Philip Rivers of last year with all their picks.
Kansas City had another solid game. They 3 picks in the first half for Philip Rivers, and just pretty much won the game in the first quarter. They didn't give the Chargers any breathing room right after that, and then from there it was just kind of like a breeze. You're on a neutral site.
Yeah, it was probably more of a home game for Kansas City. LA is not going to have a home game all year.
No, the Chargers will never have a home game. They'll always be on the neutral site or on the road. Which is a shame for them.
Yeah, but it's not that much difference than when they were in San Diego when they would play an AFC West opponent or like a Steelers or Cowboys where the other fan base invades that stadium.
But Hunt, another good game.
Once again,
17 carries, 172 yards, and a touchdown. This is offensive rookie of the year right now, in my opinion. Just putting it on him.
Easily. I don't know. He might have somebody coming up down the stretch on him. I think whenever we get to that game, we'll talk about that. I have a lot of things to say in there. A couple of interesting things happened in the Deshaun Watson Tom Brady matchup.
Well, I mean, we can go to it now. We could go talk about DeAndre Watson barely losing to the New England Patriots 36-33, and Watson gave it his all. He tried to do the national championship, just came up short. I mean, offensively they didn't come up short. Defensively, woeful.
Houston's Texans defense on that last drive was just exhausted. You could see it.
Oh yeah, you could see it. They couldn't get any pass rush. But even before that, there was a lot of open receivers that game.
Oh yeah,
Hogan was open a lot. Cooks was open a lot. Gronk was open, and I'm like, aren't you guys supposed to be one? I mean, yes, the defense got some plays, but aren't they supposed to be one of the best defenses in the NFL? And they can't cover anybody.
Yeah, their secondary is the problem. They're up front. They're really talented. They were giving Tom Brady a whole lot of trouble.
Oh yeah, I mean, you saw the what is that? A fumble strip interception.
Yeah.
I don't know what they decided to call it, but it was a great play by them. But yeah, the secondary is a problem, and Tom Brady exploited it with great movement.
Can I get to a situational football play that I had a question about, and I'd like to hear your thoughts on what you would do in this situation, because it's a really tough thing to decide, and I really don't think there is a right answer, but I'm kind of leaning to doing the opposite of what Houston did in this situation. So there was 2 minutes, 15 seconds left. It was a 4th and a half yard, and Houston is, I think they're at the 21-yard line of New England. Only 2 minutes and change to go. New England is only down to 1 timeout. Houston decides to kick the field goal to go up 5 to make sure that a touchdown has to beat them instead of a field goal. When they could have chose to go for it, get that half yard, and essentially seal the game away. In that situation, when you have Tom Brady on the other sideline, you go for it, right?
I think both of them you can't be mad at, because Bill O'Brien does trust his defense. So it's like a 50-50. Yes, the Tom Brady in the last drive is always dangerous, but Bill O'Brien trusted his defense to get the job done, and saying, I don't want him to drive down the field and just kick a field goal and to tie it. So it was a smart decision, but at the same time, you're right. You don't want to give Tom Brady, if you get that first down, they're going to have to use that timeout, and then you could waste more time and kick a field goal later on. So it's kind of like a 50-50 split on it, because if you don't get it, then all they need is a field goal. All they need is a field goal to tie it. You know what I'm saying?
You don't think they could get a half yard in that situation?
I'm not saying they can't. I mean, it's only half a yard. I'm pretty sure Watson can sneak there. But what if they didn't get it, and then you're stuck being up only by 3 with.
Only up by 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Only up by 2. Sorry, I don't know what I said 3, but only up by 2, and the field goal beats them.
Yes, I know. That's the point of me breaking down that situation. I say you don't give Tom Brady the ball, especially when we just talked about the Houston defense being tired. Bill O'Brien has to be aware that his defense was tired, and their secondary was. Why would he trust his defense when that secondary was getting torched by open receivers all day?
You didn't want to let them down.
All right. Well, I just know that no one's going to really talk about that situation too much the next day on the shows, and I think it's a really interesting point. And I think more coaches should be aggressive in that situation, especially you have to know who's on that other side of the field. If you're going against Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, you do not want to have them go up against. I don't care what defense you have. You do.
Well, I just think that I don't know. I feel like it was a smart idea because you always want to be up by 5, because it forces them to score, and scoring is a lot harder, and usually the Texans defense is a little bit better.
Okay, that's fine. I disagree. You don't give the ball back to a Super Bowl, a guy that has 49 comebacks, probably 15 comebacks, with the chance to win the game. When you want to dictate the outcome of the game, you want to end it on your terms. You don't want the other team to have the chance to win it. You want to end it. That's what more people need to have that mentality. We have a chance to go out here and win it. Let's do it on our terms. Let's not play on the back foot. Let's just try to end the game there. You get that first down, the game is essentially over, and you're walking out of New England with a win. You don't get it, same situation. They kick a field goal and win, but if you trust your defense, then maybe you could say, well, we trust them not to get in field goal range.
I just think that it was a smarter idea to go up by 5 and trusting your defense, giving them a longer field distance to score a touchdown.
It would have been the same amount of distance. They were basically at around the 25 if they wouldn't have got it.
Yeah, but then but they were only up by 2 though. 5's always better. They forced them to score a touchdown.
Well, Gostkowski hasn't really been having the best year of this year of them anyway. So once they get in field goal range, then they have to shut it down and try to kick the field goal and rely on Gostkowski instead of Tom Brady. So I think there's many the positives outweigh the negatives, in my opinion, in that situation. There's way too many positives that could go right for you.
There's also a big negative that can happen.
There was a big negative that happened when they kicked the field goal.
Well, yeah, they lost the game because Brady was just torturing them up.
Yes, and they should have expected that.
Maybe I think he thought his defense could get the stop.
All right, well, you and everyone else, and now they're dealing with being 1-2 now. So
1-2, bottom of the division, because in the division leaders are the 2-1 Tennessee Titans. And I remember last week we talked about this situation where I said the Titans are not that far off from the Seahawks, and they showed it today. They were played better than the Seahawks. Now, Seahawks still have a lot of offensive problems. I don't know how in the world. I feel like their offense just turns it on when they want to turn it on.
Yeah, they get in desperation mode, and then they look unstoppable during that time.
Yeah, Tennessee was up big on them, and then all of a sudden, Russell Wilson turns it on, just those 4 touchdown passes.
Yeah. You also have to attribute that a little bit later in the game. Dick LeBeau's defense was probably playing a little softer.
Yeah, it's true. Probably playing a little more coverage instead of bringing blitzes.
Yeah, and Dick LeBeau relies on a lot of havoc created, so that might have had a little bit to do with it. But
now, I will say this: the beginning of that game, Seattle was getting out. They were getting out physical by Tennessee, and Sherman tried to get them rattled by doing that hit against Mariota. He was trying to say, "We're here. We're going to be more physical than y'all." But how you pronounce it? Lawman or
who's that?
The left tackle for Tennessee.
Luau.
He was
Tyler
not having.
Luan from Michigan.
Yeah, he was not having that shit. He just got right in the face of Sherman and just told him straight up, "You ain't doing that shit no more."
Yeah, that's why people loved him coming into the draft. They loved his mean streak and proved it.
But
I felt like Sherman wanted to get kicked out of that game. I think too.
Yeah, he was just like,
whenever he got that penalty on the pass interference, then they threw a holding penalty on the return after they intercepted that in that same sequence. I don't know how the hell it was a holding penalty on him anyway. He was just locking up Decker, blocking him pretty well. And then he was taken back by the pass interference call and took his helmet off and started yelling at the ref and got a personal foul for that. Then after that happened, he went after the ref and ran all the way down the sideline with him and berated him. How do you not get another personal foul after that, though?
I don't. I think he wanted to make a statement for the things that are going on with the president and him saying that, and he probably wanted to say something at the press conference because that's what Sherman does. And I think that he wanted to make a point of that, and so his mind was already on the game. Because I feel like he jogged.
I know, but like, isn't that when you go after somebody like that, don't you get kicked out again? Right? That's another personal foul. That was definitely a personal foul again. Yeah. Running down the sideline after the ref. That's definitely another personal foul.
I don't understand how you get kicked out for the hit either. I know, but it's just because that's another personal foul, and that was targeting. Wouldn't that be like a targeting call? Because he didn't go low, like, he went straight to the head.
The inconsistencies that happen on a game-to-game basis with different crews, it's just ridiculous. It's no consistency in calls at all. And you cannot have fair play when you don't have consistency with referees. And they need to do something to fix that, but I know they won't. So
they won't.
There's no use me wasting my breath on trying to fix that situation.
You had that, and then you had that big carry by DeMarco Murray, who just the Seahawks got bullied. Tossed to the left, and it was over. And I feel like I don't know what it was. The Seahawks just couldn't get to Murray, and Murray wasn't even running that fast. I couldn't understand how nobody could get to him. It was a great run by Murray. Don't get me wrong.
Sometimes that's exactly the requirement.
But they just out-physicaled them there too. And Marcus Mariota, he had a good game too. He was very accurate, and that's what they need from him.
No doubt, yeah. Mariota does his Mariota thing.
And we're gonna go across to the pond, where the other team that is tied in that division. No, it's not the Colts. No, it's not the Texans. It's the 2-1 Jacksonville Jaguars, who put a beatdown on the Baltimore Ravens at 8:30 this morning. They didn't watch the game. I just want to know, are Jacksonville contenders for this division? Or is this their like moment to where next year everybody's going to be like, oh, Jacksonville's my sleeper team?
They're not contenders.
They're not competitors?
Contenders? No, I don't think so. I think that they're used to going to London. Baltimore is not really used to going over there, so they had an advantage in that situation. And Baltimore, based on the stat line, because I didn't wake up early enough to watch that game either. I'm just basing it off of that awful stat line that
Joe Flacco
had. That was awful. But the Jaguars' defense is really good, so
yeah,
it's not.
Hey, we had a blast from the past too with Mercedes Lewis. I didn't even know he was still in the league.
I think that's a little extreme. You probably knew he was in the league.
I just don't remember this having.
The blocking, he does a lot more blocking now, but I guess they utilized him in the game plan, which is smart with that big body and Blake Bortles' inability to really throw the ball accurately down the field. So
he was all right today. He had 4 touchdowns today. So Ryan Mallett, by the way, was their leading passer in Baltimore, not Flacco. Flacco got benched.
Do we have a QB controversy going on in Baltimore?
No, I just think Baltimore was not really wanting to play in London, and I don't think they took that game as serious as they should have.
Obviously.
And that's what happens.
Yeah, you got to come prepared every week, else you get surprised.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that happened to them.
And so Baltimore drops to 2-1. But it's okay, because the other team in that division laid a goose egg themselves. Traveling to Chicago has a chance to take the division lead. The Pittsburgh Steelers lose to the Chicago Bears in overtime. And the combo running crew from the Chicago Bears ran all over the Pittsburgh Steelers defense. Howard had 138, and I believe Karen had 70.
Cohen.
Yeah, Cohen had what did he have? 78.
Yeah, he on almost a game-winning
What happened there? Because I didn't
run.
see what happened. I saw the run. I was like, oh, that's game.
He stepped out of bounds. They said
Oh, did
down
he?
the sideline. He was running down the sideline, so that they marked him that. But it
Okay.
didn't matter anyway
Oh, it
because
didn't. Because Howard came and. By the way, Chicago is pretty solid at home. I mean, they landed down to the wire, and they beat Pittsburgh at home. So right now they're playing well at home, but their one game on the road was played horrible.
yeah,
They're not gonna.
Chicago's got some things that you can like about them. I like the running game, like their some of their defensive players. Pittsburgh, I don't know what's going on with Le'Veon Bell and their running game right now, but they gotta find a way to fix that.
Yeah, they really do. I mean, 15 carries, 61 yards, a touchdown. That's not good for Le'Veon. Le'Veon Bell usually is better than that.
Not this year, usually isn't.
Well, not this year. Is it because he didn't go to training camp, or is that just the fact?
I think that has a little bit to do with it.
I was about to say, or was it just because he just hasn't? I think it is training camp because he hasn't got his feet warmed, but he needs to step it up because he's a big part of that offense and gets the pass game wide even more open and gets in. Antonio Brown did have 10 catches, 110 yards, but they just couldn't score. They're not scoring as much as they were last year, and that should be Pittsburgh fans should be worried about that at the moment.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Trust me, I'm sure they are. They are definitely worried about that. Good thing is that Baltimore dropped the game though, so that will be able to help them out. And Cincinnati, they got 2-0-3 teams in their division, so
Yeah, Bengals Browns. They're playing each other next week, so one of them's gonna win maybe.
maybe, I mean, yeah, maybe is right. It could end in a tie.
Tie. But you got that win. Pittsburgh plays Baltimore next week as well. 12 o'clock on CBS, so that's going to be a good game in itself. It's going to be a physical defensive battle like it always is.
It's kind of weird that like two of the big matchups with teams that were undefeated, all four teams lost when they had those division matchups.
Yeah.
And next week, because Oakland and Denver also lost when they're playing next week. So it could have been a case of teams kind of just
Thinking ahead.
unfortunately you can't look ahead, but that's what they seem to be doing.
Yeah. I think they might have been. Oakland probably was thinking ahead. They were like, we're going to beat them, and they laid a goose egg. Denver laid a goose egg in Buffalo. I feel like that's something that would happen in Buffalo because nobody wants to play in Buffalo.
Yeah, we did not play well, but
No, you guys did
we
not.
deserve to have a chance to tie it up. Sydney didn't play well, but if you get flagged for pulling a joke on a player like that when they're joking around,
Yeah, and the funny thing was Tyron Taylor smiled at him at that. He didn't like
Yes.
it was
they were joking.
Yeah, I don't understand how you throw that flag. He pulled his hand and it was a joke. He doesn't have to pick him up. That's not his teammate. Why does he have to help him up? That's not his teammate. He doesn't have to help him up, refs. Like I don't understand what they were doing there. They're like, oh yeah.
I don't either, and I robbed us of a chance to go down the field and tie in the game because they were going to have to punt the ball. Based on the way Simeon was playing, it didn't look likely. Their secondary was really good. Buffalo's secondary shut us down. That young kid from LSU, White, had a really good game, and yeah, it is what it is. I don't want to really go in depth on the Broncos game, but
I mean, we have to. It is part of our job, but I mean,
there's nothing really to talk about. Buffalo's defense played really well. Our defense didn't play very well. Tyrod Taylor had a really good game. Stopped LaShawn McCoy. Tyrod Taylor just made plays with his legs and was really accurate down the field. Secondary did not look like the no-fly zone, and Buffalo's defense really looked like the better defense in that game.
well, hopefully next week Broncos can fix their problems. And well, they're playing the Raiders, so both of them need to fix their problems.
Yeah. Going to be a really good game. Going to be like almost a must-win at this early in the season, so it should be fun.
We're gonna move on, and let's see who you want. Oh, we'll talk about the game between the 2-0 teams. Atlanta Falcons beat the Lions 30-26 in a controversial way.
Did they beat them?
They beat them in terms of the stat line, but in my mind, they didn't beat them. And what I seen, how can you overrule that?
Yeah, there was enough evidence. Evidence.
Evidence.
Enough evidence.
Video evidence that you can overturn that. Because I didn't see enough of it. I was like, man, that's close.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too much into something that happened last year, but Tyreek Hill scored a touchdown against us on a Sunday night game that was really similar, where he was touched like right before the goal line, and they gave him the touchdown in that situation. And that one looked like a little bit clear cut.
Hills was more clear than that, because when I saw that, I was like, ooh, I think he got in before that. Like, that, in my mind, that's what I thought.
So they said on the, I guess the replay people said without a shadow of a doubt, it definitely didn't. I don't know how you could see that replay and think that.
I don't know either, because I've seen it 3 times, and I'm still like, I don't know if you can tell. You have to stay, and then the stupid rule of a runoff. Like, this is what I'm gonna say. If he's short, like let's say they ruled him short at the in the first spot, could the Lions not get up on the line quick enough? They weren't that far off.
They would have definitely been able to run a play.
I think they would have been able. I'm in my mind. I'm like, they probably would have been able to run another play. So why would they not give them another play? That ruined them for not getting another play.
Yeah, the refs definitely, like I said, reffing was awful today in the NFL. And not only did they screw him because they overturned it, and if you are going to overturn it in that situation, you have to look at yourself and say, well, we made the bad call. It was our mistake, so we can't punish the Lions for us making the mistake.
Yeah, you have to give them at least 1 second.
No, but the rule is the rule.
I know the rule is the rule.
The rule is the rule, and you have to enforce the rule. But when you're on the phone with them, if it's not clear cut, and people are arguing, did he or did he not get in, and people will be arguing about it tomorrow, you have to just say, we stand by the call. You cannot overturn that call.
I've seen calls where the guy is fumbled, and then they say no. I mean, they did in the Bucs game. Dalvin Cook fumbled, and they didn't even. They said no. It was too hard to see. It was too hard to see, and so they said it's a touchdown. But I just don't understand how they can see that he got tackled there. He's down by contact. He wasn't down though. He was midair.
Yeah, his knee wasn't there. He might have, even if he's touching him before he touched the ball or before his knee is down, he's not down if his knee is not down. You know?
Yeah, I understand. It was a great game too, and it was a great game, and all we're talking about is that last play. We're not talking about Devontae. We're not talking about how great Deontay Freeman was. We're not talking about how great the Lions defense played against Matt Ryan. We're talking about one play now.
Because the NFL would rather you talk about them than not talk about them, so that's the way they wanted this situation to go, unfortunately.
Makes the Lions.
So they want it. They want this. They want everyone to talk about this tomorrow.
Lions fall to 2-1. Atlanta stays perfect. We're gonna go to the other game, and we're gonna talk about the Minnesota Vikings putting a beat down on my Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Here's the thing about that. I think
That's the job in a nutshell.
Tampa Bay's defense didn't prepare. I don't think they prepared at all for Case Keenum. They thought,
obviously not with him throwing for 300 plus yards.
Yeah, Case Keenum should not have thrown for 300 yards. They were like, it's Case Keenum. He's not going to do anything. Case Keenum, by the way, has beaten us twice. He beat us with Minnesota or with LA last year, and he beat us this year. Case Keenum is Tampa Bay's kryptonite. I just couldn't believe that. Jameis Winston throwing 3 picks doesn't help either. We were making a nice little try for a comeback. That was a pick. And that hurts. First half, that was a pick. And our defense was not in the game at all. So, and by the way, Minnesota's receiving core, it's really good.
Yeah. Diggs is probably making his way up to a top 5 receiver in the NFL.
Diggs, Dallin, 173, 98. Week 1 they were great. Week 2 they had a little problem, but and then you have Rudolph. Cook can catch from the backfield. Treadwell, which hasn't even been in the game much, but he's another big receiver. They just look really strong. Their defense is great. I don't like Keenum. I think this was a mirage game, like I like to say, from Keenum. This is never going to happen again.
Hopefully for me.
25 for 33, 369. He almost threw for 400 yards. Oh, and it didn't help. Tampa Bay's defense has now gone and is in injury mode crazy. Every big defensive player they have is hurt. Gerald McCoy hurt this game. Levante David got hurt this game. TJ Ward got hurt this game. Hargreaves got hurt this game. Brent Grimes didn't play. Alexander didn't play. Their defense, Buccaneers are in trouble on defense.
Yes, without a doubt. Especially when you're not going to have a bye week.
Yeah, there's no bye week anymore for Tampa Bay. This is the problem. And yet again, the NFL making a dumb decision. Move the fucking game in week 1. Like, you caused the Dolphins and Tampa Bay to play 16 games in a row, but yet you care so much about health. You care so much about player safety. 16 games in a row is not player safety. I don't care.
Far from it.
Yeah, but you're like, oh, we do. We care about this, this, and this. No, you don't. If you did, you wouldn't be doing doing those type of games. You wouldn't have a team two teams playing 16 games in a row. But that's enough about the rant about Roger Goodell's and the NFL stupidity of doing that. Buccaneers fall to 1-1. They play the New York Football Giants, which nice little transition there because we're going to talk about this game. It wasn't exciting until the second half, anyways.
Fourth quarter, pretty much.
Yeah, fourth quarter.
Offense decided to finally wake up.
Yeah. I will say this: Eagles should have won that game, pretty much in the first 3 quarters. But that defense is really good from the Giants, so I'm not going to say that too much. But I mean, that fourth quarter from the Giants was really good. The first 3 quarters looked like the Giants of this year. The fourth quarter looked like the Giants from last year.
Yep. And, well, we had more controversy in this game, I believe, too.
Oh, the 1 second? I didn't see the 1 second.
Yeah, they left that extra second on there. I think he didn't get out of bounds in time for that 1 second not to tick off. Definitely should have lost that second, and that 61-yard field goal should have never happened. Great kick, by the way.
Great kick by Elliott, the rookie.
Really dangerous and really ballsy decision by Peterson to do that, because if it ends up short...
ODB was there. By the way, great catches by ODB today. The first one...
And a personal foul penalty.
Oh, man, I love that celebration. It was funny.
Yeah, but you got to be smarter. Oh, no matter... He does it too often. Just him and Kelsey. Both of them.
You shit on Kelsey because you don't like him.
You say that all the time, but I shit on him because I don't like players that make it more about themselves than the team. And ODB and Kelsey are big on that.
I don't think Kelsey makes it
constantly do
more than the team. Kelsey blocks too, though. He's a good blocker.
No, I'm not talking about any of his skills. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about personal foul penalties.
Okay.
That's all I'm talking about. That's all I'm talking about. That makes you're more important than the team. Look at me. And I don't like that by Puckers. So that's my pet peeve. I don't care how many touchdowns you score. When you do something like that, well, they had to be move us back 15 yards on a kickoff and you give the other team really good field position. You're not thinking about that because you're only thinking about, oh man, it's going to be cool when everyone's talking about this and about me, not the team. So when you do that kind of stuff, you're just thinking about yourself and you're selfish. So until they stop doing it, I'm going to keep talking shit about Kelsey and ODB.
But that second touchdown, that one-handed grab was really good.
Yeah,
Great.
Of course.
And the Shepard. I mean, Giants really look good in that fourth quarter. I don't know what happened.
It was really hot in the Northeast.
Yeah, apparently it was really hot. Yeah.
Yeah.
What was it? 90 degrees in that game?
Yeah, it was 90 plus in all those northeastern states. So I think fatigue had a lot to do with kind of some of that for Philadelphia in that fourth quarter.
But I mean, Giants fall to 0-3.
0-3.
McAdoo in the first half was bad. He's on the hot seat for me. He's on the dangerous hot seat too.
Yeah, when you're in New York, you're always on a hot seat if you lose your first 3 games. To be honest, Tom Coughlin was on the hot seat, I think, his entire time in New York.
Oh yeah, he was always on the hot seat. But I mean, the next 3 games for the Giants are pivotal. 0-3 teams that think they can still make the playoffs. These next 3 games are pivotal. You have to get back to 500. You have to win your next 3. These are now like from teams like the Bengals, the Giants, as Chargers. I'll throw the Chargers in there, but not really the Chargers. This is their playoff run. They are in playoff mode now, and which is weird to say only in week 3, but that's what it is.
Yeah, they can't afford to lose, especially with everyone being 2-1 in that division.
Yeah.
I'm already chalking up the Cowboys win. I probably shouldn't do that, seeing as
it's just bizarre week 3. Yeah, bizarre week 3. So you can't chalk that up.
So I can't really do that. But if the Cowboys do win, then everyone's 2-1 in that division, and that's too early to fall that behind.
Yeah.
And Giants, their schedule doesn't get any easier. So
there's not. They play Tampa Bay next week in Tampa. Who else they got?
Chargers. They play Chargers. They get the Chargers at home, then they go to Denver.
So I mean,
Seattle after that.
Yeah. They only can lose about 3 more games. So they got 3 games to do it. Just like the Bengals.
Just looking at their schedule right now, they're out. They're not making the playoffs.
They're not making the playoffs because I know they play the Philly one more time, Cowboys one more time, Redskins
Washington
twice. It's going to be Broncos, Tampa Bay, Oakland, Kansas City. Yeah, it's going to be they're going to have to go on a major run to make the playoffs. But right now they just don't. It doesn't look good for them. So. They got Tampa Bay next week, 3:05. So hopefully Tampa Bay can win that game. I don't want to be the team to give them their first win.
Yeah, well, they're going to be playing in desperation mode.
Yeah, they definitely are going to be desperation, and they have to get their minds ready for that. Tampa Bay does. You want to go with your best team of the week and worst team of the week?
Yeah, we could do that. Best team of the week. I don't think I have one right off the top of my head, but I think I'm going to go with consistency and say Kansas City for doing their job and going on the road against a division opponent and pulling out a victory that pretty much no one else this week was able to do. So I'm gonna give props to Kansas City for doing that.
All right. My best of the week goes to the Tennessee Titans. They just because they out physically beat the Seahawks defense. They beat their D-line. They beat their secondary. I know Seahawks weren't in it technically, like mindset weren't in it, but Tennessee wasn't. They were ready to play. I just think that was a big win for them. Good motivational win for that young team in Tennessee.
Yeah, that's fine. But Tennessee's one of those up and down teams that after that big win, I could see them losing next week.
I was about to say, I know they could lose that next week, but for this week, they are my team of the week.
Worst team of the week. I could throw up a bunch of teams in there.
There's a bunch of teams in there. It's a group. There's a group. Don't act like we didn't forget you, Carolina, for only scoring 13 against the shitty New Orleans defense. The fuck was that, Cam? Come on.
Kelvin Benjamin got hurt, so he didn't have.
Oh, Kelvin.
His target.
It's not like he's been throwing to Kelvin this year, anyways.
Yeah, trust me, I know that. I have Kelvin on my fantasy team. I know that. I'll just go Oakland to shit on Oakland and stay in my AFC West bias. That was an awful, pitiful performance. And I didn't see the Baltimore game because I definitely think they probably would be willing for that spot.
Oh, yeah. They're definitely there.
But yeah, Oakland, just watching that game, it was just tough to watch. Tough to watch them not be able to move the ball at all.
Yeah.
So, really sucked. Really kind of needed them to win that game for other reasons in my other betting situation. But yeah, so they really let me down, so that's why they're in there.
I'm going to stay in the AFC like you, but I'm not going Oakland. I'm not going Baltimore. We're going to head to New York. And this team that got their first win today. Congratulations, the Bulls. But the Dolphins, you are my worst team of the week. You let the Jets beat you. Jets aren't a good team. You're supposed to be a playoff contending team, and Jay Cutler laid a goose egg. Was not good today. Your defense didn't really stop them that much. I mean, the Jets are only going to score so many points. You only have to score 3 touchdowns to beat them, and you guys couldn't even do that.
It was a pitiful performance by Miami.
It was awful. Adai, you didn't run the ball. Adai is your best player. So, I mean, I just don't understand what Miami thought this game was going to be. I don't understand it. It was a horrible game by Miami. They're my dud team of the week. Hopefully, let's see if they can turn it around. If not, it looks like a long season for Jay Cutler again, and he's going to get shit on yet again if Dolphins keep playing like that.
Yeah, it's one week though, so you know.
I know. I said it's 1 week.
I'm just gonna give every team a pass for this week. I don't know what the hell is going on this week.
Very bizarre
I'm not
week.
gonna get in. I'm not gonna get into my theory on why things happen the way they did this week.
No, we're not politicians. We only talk about sports. We stick to
leave
sports.
that out. Yeah, but it's just a weird week, and the only thing consistent about this week was the awful decisions
Oh,
by
referees. Referees
on a
were the
consistent
worst
basis.
things of the week. Like if I had to choose like my best thing of the week, it was between the ODB. Actually, I'll go the Doxson catch because I really liked that catch. It was awesome. That was probably my best thing of the week, and my worst thing of the week was the refs.
Well, the refs are always the worst thing of the week, in my opinion.
I can't rag on them all the time, so I'm just gonna. But this week they were bad.
Yeah. And I'll just go. My worst of the week is Bill O'Brien making that decision to not go for it on 4th and yard and cost his team.
He had a bad time
Consistent.
management in that game too, I believe. I forget what happened, but he didn't call a timeout or something. And I think it was in the first half, and the clock was running out.
I can't speak on that. I just can speak on the part that I saw, which was really bad on his part. Best of the week would be for me. I'm gonna go Case Keenum.
Yeah, Case Keenum.
Pulling it out of nowhere, lighting it up. Really surprising on what he did today. I don't think anyone was really expecting that. So, good job, Case Keenum. No one expected it, and performed well and got Minnesota a much-needed win to go to 2-1 in that division.
Yeah.
Because that division, that AFC or NFC North, excuse me, looks really good.
Yeah, it does look really good. We didn't even mention Green Bay's win, but yeah, Green Bay won today.
Yeah,
They beat the Bengals in overtime.
Yeah, Bengals really had a shot to win that game.
Yeah, they
Probably really should have, and they just couldn't. But you know what? Bad teams are sometimes they just find ways to lose.
All right, you ready? You ready for the usual segment at the end of the cast?
What's that?
The top. This is without the Cowboys Cardinals game playing. Usually we do this on Tuesday. We just wanted to get it done today. You top the 5 and 5.
5 and 5.
5 and 5.
Can we wait till? No, I don't want to do that tonight. I need some time to digest it.
No, you have to do it now. We always do this at the recap. You can't deny that.
I don't want to do knee-jerk reactions without analyzing the performances. I think I can wait until the preview, and then we do it on the preview.
No, because the previews, they're in my bottom 5s. Do they have the Giants played bad? This game they didn't play bad, but they're in the bottom 5. Bengals didn't play bad this game, and but they're in my bottom 5. Chargers are in my bottom 5 for sure. Browns, definitely the Browns. And then who else did I have? Then the Niners. That's my bottom 5.
Okay.
The worst team is the Browns for sure.
Yeah, Cleveland is definitely the worst, but can I really not put Indianapolis in there for beating them?
No.
I still feel like it's Chargers are better than Indianapolis.
Are they? They're 0-3.
Yeah,
I mean, they did play Kansas City
is.
and Denver, but they did lose to Miami at home. They've lost 2 home games. Neutral site home.
Yeah, they don't really have a home game.
Yeah, but technically they did lose 2 at home.
Okay, well, I'm just gonna go. Cleveland, since I'm not putting Cincinnati in there. I'm not doing it. Cleveland, 49ers.
It's been intercepted, and that will come to
Jets.
nothing. Forward it goes. Now the pass. Sané. Played in by Sané. Gets up to head it.
Arizona, New Orleans.
You gonna throw Arizona in there? All right.
Oh, he really wanted that.
Yeah, I don't think they're good. I think they'll be embarrassed tomorrow.
You want to give out a best 5?
All right, Kansas City, obviously number 1 in my opinion. I don't really think there is a best 5 right now after today's performances by teams, but Kansas City, Atlanta, Washington, Detroit,
2 minutes to be added on.
and New England. Actually, let me move New England above Washington.
All right. I got Kansas City, Atlanta. Then it gets a little tricky after that. I'm gonna go Detroit number 3. They didn't play bad, and you were all right. I was wrong. Detroit's been good this year, so I'm going Detroit 3. Minnesota number 4, and New England number 5. I still don't trust New England's defense, and that's a problem still. But I'm gonna give them number 5 for now. Baltimore definitely dropped out of my. Yeah, Tom Brady finds a way, but Baltimore definitely dropped out of my top 5 after today's performance in London.
Oh, easily. Yeah.
Yeah. Next week, we're going to talk on Thursday. It's going to be our NFL preview. Looking ahead, we're going to talk about the Broncos-Raiders game. Not much out there. Probably the Patriots-Panthers, Vikings-Lions, Baltimore-Pittsburgh, Vikings-Lions. Might talk about Texans-Tennessee for a little bit. That looks intriguing. That's probably about it. I mean, there's not much out there. Oh, Chiefs-Redskins. I'm sorry. Chiefs-Redskins are there, so that's going to be another one. Oh, and we can talk about if the Seahawks are going to lay another goose egg at home on Sunday night.
It should be fun. Definitely can't be worse than this week was with all the upsets. I don't know. Maybe this year is just going to be crazy filled with upsets.
I don't know, man. That might just have been this week. I think there was a lot of things going on, and they weren't really looking at it. But
I agree. So I'm glad this week's over, and then looking forward to a better week next week.
Yep, me too. Hopefully next week is going to be better for my Tampa Bay Buccaneers and better for your Broncos, and we can get the win. But that's going to do it for tonight's knee-jerk recap of Bizarro Week 3. I hope you like it. If you did, drop a like, drop a subscription. My name's Ryan Rahali. That's Nathaniel. We're out.